Good afternoon. It's now just gone 2 o'clock in the afternoon of Friday, March the 10th. I'm Andy and this is my allotment. Not done a video since Christmas time because, to be honest, there's not a huge amount going on in the allotment over the winter time, but there has been a bit, so I'm going to have a quick whiz round, a very short video today, hopefully, to show you what's been going on. Now, the main thing to show you is we now have water. It's not mains water. What we've got is we have over there where all the stones are, 6 1 cubic meter crates buried under there, surrounded by gravel. So we've got somewhere in the region of 8 to 10,000 cubic litres worth of storage space. As you remember, my plot floods quite regularly because all the water from the plots at the top comes down and settles down here. As you can see, where they've been digging, etc., to do the work, there's quite a lot of mess here already. I don't know if you can see over the back there's drainage channels been dug and they all filter down into here. So the idea is that all the water will percolate down through the allotments and into this holding pen. Any surplus goes off along that trail which leads around the back of the apiary and goes down towards the canal as a natural overflow. Underneath that manhole cover is a little pump. Connect that up to a generator and then we have water at all the taps. There are taps next to virtually every allotment on here, which is really good. So the idea is that over the summertime, when water's getting scarce, there'll be water stored in there because it's got nowhere else to go. It won't be evaporating because it's covered over, and we are constantly going to be putting the bee shed on top of there because we've got base already for it, so why not use it? So the idea is that we'll be able to connect to the generator and pump water to all the taps around the allotments. So there's one here, there's more up there, and you can see them in the distance, a couple more up there. And the idea is that we then got water to fill our water butts, IBCs, whatever, as we go along. So that's the main thing that's happened over the winter. On my plot specifically, a lot of the beds now are covered in black plastic weed fabric. Great stuff this. It lets water through, it lets air through, doesn't let light through. And so the idea is that it kills off all but the most pernicious perennial weeds. All the little ones, the couch grasses and such like, they do come through a bit. Your docks will survive a little bit. Your mare's tail comes straight through it, there's no problem with that, but it keeps most of it out. You don't have the little seeds trying to come up, which are really irritating. When you clear the bed and you come back a week later and there's just a field of green on it. So there's a lot of beds that have been covered over with this weed fabric. Some like this one haven't been because it's a bit difficult to get weed fabric underneath the wiring, but that stuff on the far side needs weeding out, but I can't get to because of my flags, but they're going soon, hopefully. Quite a few of the beds, as I say, I've got weed fabric on, and I've got a load of muck to shift. That's the first bit of it there that's come down in the bed. I've got probably enough to fill 4 beds, 5 beds maybe, which is great because I've got 4 or 5 beds to fill. We had a bit of damage during the winter storms. On the greenhouse, I lost 3 panels off the roof and 3 panels off the side. Fortunately, we found them again and I put them back in. The problem with the polycarbonate greenhouse is that when you get the polycarb itself, there's a film on it that tells you this way is UV treated, this way isn't. When you get it second hand, you haven't got a clue which way around it is, and about half the panels are on the non-UV side, I think, because they're all starting to perish. They're not expensive to replace. I have got about 7 or 8 panels to oops, nearly dropped the camera. 7 or 8 panels to replace them with, but it's not a major problem. It's just irritation and time, really. Anyway, a lot of clearing done. This is our Jack's bed, my grandson. We've cleared up all the strawberries on one part. There's a bit more for him to do at weekend. Look at the rhubarb coming through, and it's doing wonderful. Now, this one at the back is my existing rhubarb, it's Victoria rhubarb, and this one at the front is one I got off Freecycle. I got 3 rhubarb crowns. This was one of them, which was the strongest. There's one over there on the far side, which is just about starting to come through. I thought that'd come through faster, but maybe not. Then this one here is one that was grown from seed. Got given that as a 1-year-old plant from the first year by Diane, our friend. And this one as well was the same. There's one little bit coming through on that. The whole thing might be dug up and replaced this year, I don't know, but at the moment it's not looking brilliant. And this one belongs to my stepdad Ken, who unfortunately passed away a couple of weeks ago. So if you're watching this in heaven, Ken, your rhubarb's growing. I always tell him when his rhubarb's growing, and so today's no exception. I've trimmed back a lot of the raspberry canes. Not sure which are autumn fruiting, which were summer fruiting, so I've just cut them all back to about 3 foot high. Anything that was in there that was obviously old and dead has gone. And I've also got some large pieces here. And now this, I can get it, this is from the grapevine, which is down at the bottom there. Now this is coming off the spur from the bottom, so I think I'm going to get rid of this because it shouldn't really be here. I don't want it to be doing what it's doing. Quite happy to leave the main branches, of which this is one here and there's one going off there. I'm going to get those trained up, and I was planning on moving the raspberries out of here this year, but time's beaten me. You think got loads of time, it's going to be miles off of spring, but spring arrives. Couple of leftover onions in there, spring onions. They were planted last year, nothing happened, and they decided to germinate this year. Not complaining, free food. Over here in this bed is leftover garlic. Now what happened was last year we had the chicken run right up against the edge of this bed here, and the chickens were stretching their head through the netting and eating the tops off the garlic. So of course when it came to harvest time, there's nothing left to see. So we just assumed there was nothing in there. We didn't dig it over, didn't do anything with it. And now when you look at it, you see lots and lots of individual garlic plants. I mean, this one, for goodness sake, there must be 7 or 8 garlics there. I've not tried lifting any of these yet. I might lift some. I might stick some in the ground separately. I might just leave some alone and see how it works. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Right, chickens. Still got the 5 chickens we had last time you came down. No change there. They've all been quarantined in because of the avian flu. That's now over. So theoretically these could come out into an open area, but I don't have anywhere for them to go at the moment. Got plans about that, which I might tell you about later. It all depends on what's happening. But what's happening at the moment is that they all seem to be laying in the one coop. They're all laying in the grey coop. They're using the grey coop here at the front as a nesting box, and they're using the brown coop as a sleeping box. All but for one of them. I get 4 in there, and the 5th one seems to come in here. But it's a different one every time. It's like they queue up to get in. Whoever's last has to go and sleep on their own as a punishment, something like that. But we're getting 2 eggs a day on average at the moment, which for 5 chickens isn't great. But when you consider a couple of them are 3-year-old and a couple of them are 2-year-old, they're not in the prime of life, but they're all expatriate hens, and so we're quite happy to give them a home and get any eggs from them as a benefit. And they are going to have some friends soon, because the shed at the back is going to be converted, halfway through being converted anyway, into a new a chicken coop for them. Going to have a door cut through with an automatic opener on, so they can get in and out quite easily, and have nesting boxes in there and everything. And this brown coop is going to be turned into a temporary home for 3 new expatriate chickens, which are coming in 2 weeks' time. So I've got to get my skates on and finish off the greenhouse. The shed. Now we'll go and see the greenhouse. Yeah, cabbages from last year not doing very much. If they don't, they don't. I'm not too bothered. If they do, fantastic. But the new season has started in here in the greenhouse. As you can see, got a few trays in. Not as much as I had last year, to be honest. This one here that's sprouting quite nicely is garlic. So that's all garlic, and there's one at the back there on its own, which is a single clove I had left over. The other 2 trays are red onions. I'm not going to grow a lot of onions this year, because last year I grew loads and loads of onions, and they're all tiny piddly things which are a real pain to peel, with the odd exceptions that were nice and big. So I don't know, I think I'll just put a couple of squares in my square foot bed of onions this year. I'm not sure. These are stuff left over from last year. A couple of kale plants, some chard. They might go to seed straight away, they might survive. Either way, I've not lost anything if I try. And some mints at the back. A couple of catnip mint, and then there's another mint, normal mint as well. Now this green tray here, this was my grandson's. He's taken this home, put it on his windowsill. And as you can see, the red onions at the front are doing fantastic compared to mine, which are just showing. The garlic behind, a little bit curly and stunted. I think it got too warm on his windowsill. Behind that some dill, and behind that 3 lots of tomatoes. Unfortunately, his cat's got at tomatoes, and they seem to like chewing the tops off the seeds. So got a bit leggy, and then they've been eaten as well. This tray is mine. At the front 3 rows there are tomatoes, peppers, or front 4 rows rather, with a couple of artichokes at the back. And then the greenery you can see there, there's some rocket on the left hand side, Then next one in is Loro Rosso. Next one in is some salad bowl, red and green. And then right on the far side here, a couple of sprouts coming up of a broccoli rabe. Everything else is still waiting to come through. It's not really been warm enough, although we did get to 36 degrees yesterday when the sun was out. At the moment, it's around about 13 or 14, so it's not too cold, but not hot either. Right, in here in the mini tunnel inside the tunnel, we've got some beans which are just about starting to show. Looking from the bottom, there's lots of roots, but not pulling it out for that. We've got a tray of leeks. Again, nothing showing in the leeks. Not sure why. Maybe I've covered them a bit too deeply. I'm not certain. And then down there we've got some sweet peas, which I've only put in last weekend, so they're not going to go anywhere just as yet. Plans coming up. I've got to get the chicken shed sorted out. Underneath here is where all my storage stuff is, where I've stored things over the winter. So I've got all my seeds, my seed trays, and all my junk under here. I need all this for plants, so all this has got to go. I've got to find homes for it all into the shed. So I've got a big tidy up coming up soon where that's going to be happening. A lot more seeds being planted. Hopefully I can get these out before the new ones come in and I get a bit more space. And all the chicken egg boxes are going to go into this chicken shed once they're ready. Anyway, I said it was going to be a short video, 11.5 minutes, not short at all. Thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks to everybody who's subscribed recently. I do appreciate it, and thank you to for all the comments that people put on the videos. I do try to respond to every single one. So if you haven't had a response, I've probably missed it, and I will find it. I do go over them every now and then. Again, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. This channel is mainly done for my purposes, so I can remember what I've been doing, because I don't like writing notes. I'd rather have a video than write notes. But having said that, some people seem to like what I do. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye for now.